our friend Lefty Gunplay.
Which I would like to spin the block when we have more Rasta in the building.
We will probably have to bring it back when they get here. But Lefty Gunplay has been getting a lot of backlash for saying that he will trip out if his daughter brings home a black guy. Now, one interesting thing before we even get into the clip, it's kind of amazing to me to see the extent to which the Rasa strikes fear in the heart of the Los Angeles street streamers scene, because so few people seem willing to actually acknowledge that they don't appreciate this mentality. It really lets you know that there's some real fear struck in the heart of men out here, because this is a statement that on its face is the kind of thing you would expect to hear from a Richard Spencer or a Nick Fuentes. But it's coming from the mouth of the one and only Lefty Gunplay. And as a result, a lot of people who I thought were proud of their people and would want to stand up against this kind of thing, they're backing down. They're saying, hey, he can do whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants.
You can't say nothing about it. Like, hey,
He's
that's
not
because
lying.
this is what you don't understand. That's because the person that's not responding, it might be reciprocated.
So you're saying
It
that
might
AD and
be
Pun,
reciprocated.
AD
Like,
and Pun live in fear of their daughters bringing home a Mexican.
we don't live in fear. It's just that, we were taught to keep our bloodline pure, just like y'all.
It's not. It's honestly like
that.
I
Okay,
get
but
what
again,
he's-
what you just said, if I were to say it, would make me equivalent to Nick Fuentes.
That's why I said it to
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
That's why I said it for you.
I do not agree with that.
I'm saying though, you wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad at you if you said that.
The correlation.
I feel like almost everybody else would.
They would, but
Yeah.
like us being in the streets, like, hey, bro, hey, if grandma and great grandma don't like that shit, and we don't like, hey, we've been trained that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not even-
Because you've been indoctrinated by the prison in the same way that Lefty has.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's why your
Yeah.
understanding of his mentality
Yeah.
to everybody else, it seems like pretty clear cut, racism.
It's not racist.
I mean, but
it's not
shit,
racist.
Okay, it's a racist that ain't afraid to speak his mind. That's why I like Trump. Hey, listen, I ain't fucking with that.
I wouldn't call it racist though. Honestly,
It's
not. 'Cause I got my
Californian.
baby mama Salvadorian, bro. I swear to God, nigga. Like
hate
her dad and her mom are from Salvador, nigga. The oldest brother from Salvador, bro. And like,
I'm in the
it's
same
just
boat,
like it's not like a racist. It like is racist, but it's not like it's not like
Not on
personally
purpose.
racist. You feel me? Like it's just like, bro. The mom's cool with me, but the dad still to this day, nigga. My daughter's 9, nigga. Her dad does not fuck with me, bro. Like, I don't
So you
know
walk
why,
in the
bro.
house and what?
He don't live there, but he's
Oh.
just weird. Then the aunties one time see me, like it's just like it's just like a like
who is that? Nigga?
it's like it's not like the person.
What could be
It's like-
more racist?
It's
Okay.
Bring
What
your
could be
yams and
more
macaroni to
racist
Thanksgiving?
than saying that your
All right.
greatest fear is that you don't want your offspring mating with a person of another race?
That's how Asians are too. Like Asian people, like
But
they
all
stick to Asians.
But
like,
all you're
certain
saying
races
is that
just stick
yes,
to
there
certain
are other
races, you
people
feel
who
me?
are racist,
Like,
and that we all
it's
they
not
think
really-
it's not
it's
the
just-
worst thing in the
But
world.
here's the
Stick it
thing.
to your-
Here's the thing.
Everybody's
Your
racist a
culture,
little bit.
like
Here's the thing. So
As long as we're acknowledging that it's super racist, then I guess we're on the same page.
Hold on. Inherently, the statement that was made is indefensible. But if you add context to it, and you actually add the element of everything else that Lefty has said, you add the fact that this is a dude with Draco lyrics tattooed on his face.
Yeah, like he's not
This is a
racist,
dude that's
bro,
gone out
like-
of his way to explain why he doesn't say the N-word, and the main reason why is because
Because he doesn't want to be a part of some black shit.
No, because he doesn't want to offend
It's
other
just
people.
other people,
You know
his
what I mean?
people,
Like,
bro.
yeah.
Like, bro, you should have seen my granny the first time I brought a white girl to fucking meet her, nigga. She's not racist, but she was just like,
What the fuck?
to-
like
like-
tripped out.
yeah,
I've never
the
seen
thing
my
is-
granny like that, bro. I'm like, I
And
was
being
like, what the
tripped
fuck?
out is
Like,
understandable,
she
but as
was
soon as you like do not want this union to take place,
Well, that's what
I would
she
say
said
when
you're
she left.
racist.
She's
Yeah,
like,
but
That's
here-
okay. I think there are
like-
forms of but the reason why it's important for us to be honest about this conversation is that clearly there are forms of racism that we think are acceptable. When we look at another country like Japan, which is like entirely homogenous, there's barely any outsiders. A parent in Japan doesn't really have to think about what if my kid decides to date somebody of another race.
Well, they're nationalistic. That's-
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting that there are forms of racism that we all seem like we're okay with. Especially when it comes from the mouth of somebody like Lefty, who we don't really expect woke politics to come out of their mouth.
But here's
like
the thing. Here's the thing. I
in
feel
your
like
blood.
the way he expressed it came out wrong because if you when he like completed his thought and all the ensuing footage that came out as a result, what he basically said was this is wrong. I'm trying to improve black and brown relations. And the fact that that's even ingrained in him, who obviously isn't a hateful person, who obviously doesn't have any animosity
towards blacks,
and
like,
whose hood
like,
never beefed with a black hood.
It's just like
you know?
dating.
I want
though,
to get
like,
back to the fear part.
But when you say that he wants to stop racism, how do they stop racism in prison? They make it so that there are very strict rules about what people within races can do with people from other races.
Correct.
Once we're on the outside, the mentality is more like, no, everybody should be able to intermingle and be around each other, and race shouldn't really even be an issue. But in prison, there's like an understanding that race is so important that everybody's actions and where you hang out and who you have lunch with, etc., should be like almost entirely determined by your
And
race.
Lefty's spent literally 33% of his life incarcerated, the majority of those during his adult years. So let's just say he spent half of his life. And so basically, if you remove childhood, he spent 50%
But that
of
has
his years.
nothing to do with it either. Like, all right, that's black and Mexican. Hold on,
it's institutionalized,
that has a little bit to do with it. I dated a white girl multiple times, a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? You go to their parents' house.
They'll do the same shit.
It's uncomfortable.
It's weird, bro.
Like a lady
fuck, like-
had a conversation with me and said so many racist things. That I had to tell her, like, it ain't even your fault. That
Give me an
you-
example.
Like, it's
How
not
racist we
like,
talking?
It's in their blood, nigga. Like,
Because this is the thing. Okay, when I say that I would be totally okay with my daughter bringing home a black guy, that is not me
course,
saying I would be
she-
totally okay with my daughter bringing home a member of the Rolling 60s
but
crib.
I'm
That- I mean, hey, now we're talking about something a little different.
he's
Okay,
like, whoa,
hey,
whoa, whoa,
all right.
whoa.
It's a criminal organization from what I've heard.
Hold on, but when you get your rent paid and shit, bitch, you're not saying that. So I don't wanna
But
hear
there's a
that
difference.
shit.
But there's a
hold
difference between gangs and a
on.
race.
Yeah. Hold on though.
I get his point.
You talk about to what extent we went to. She feels. She's like, well, why are you guys so lazy and just depend on government funding?
Okay, that's fucking
Like,
racist.
That is racist. That sounds racist.
I
That's
almost slapped her. I'm like,
That's
she don't
uneducated,
even know.
though.
She don't
Like,
understand
yeah, that's-
why you don't get up and work. We really debated for hours after that, and I had to understand, like, fuck, you are paying taxes for these bitches to sit on their ass, though.
They gotta wake up.
Like, yeah,
she's
like,
been up.
like, you got a point,
You do
baby.
have a point.
Like,
But
let's
the,
take
but
a
the
drink.
point is
Baby.
this. The point is this: that racism is driven, created, and perpetuated by
is.
fear,
Yeah.
and that fear is due to lack of experience. If you grew up with every single race, you're going to be less inclined to hate or have fear or have any preconceived notions about these people because you spent time around them. You know what I mean? So a lot of that fear comes from that. Even you
And they
being
come
like,
from Croatia, too.
that's a whole other.
Yeah.
They're the spicy whites.
Yeah.
That's whites with cheese.
Yeah.
That's some other shit.
Yeah,
right
American
there.
whites already are
Croatians?
used to the idea that we're not supposed to be racist. Many international whites don't really have that idea implanted in their brain.
and
But
they-
she's like second generation American. Like
Yeah.
she comes from Croatia, but like the mom is like the second generation. The grandma is kind of the first root of.
But
like,
that Eastern
route to
Bloc,
America.
Croatia, and
I know.
So and everything,
Scandinavia.
yeah, especially and everything east of that,
Yeah.
and then like Russia,
Yeah.
essentially like that's there's white supremacist hate groups and
Yeah.
fascists,
Yeah.
like all
I
through
know.
there, like
I've been
to the
through
point
there.
where when we were touring Europe back in the day, main character syndrome aside, we
That's what
couldn't-
I was gonna go with
We
it, too.
couldn't go to Russia and places like that because they don't. We'd have to have armed guards with AKs and blah blah blah.
Because you are so
No, because like,
obviously a minority.
No, because the person I rapped with was a black dude.
This nigga retarded.
Yeah.
He's is. So, like, that's what he said.
Obviously a minority.
So just imagine segue, Kid Ink.
Yeah.
First of all, they don't even let my type into Russia. So
Yeah.
Really?
my last show was like Iceland or Finland, somewhere,
Right.
Norway right
Yeah.
there, right? And I flew home. He flew over to, because
Yeah.
Russia's right there. So he flew to Russia. They go, the hype man, him, whatever. They decide to spark a blunt in the room. Very ballsy.
In Russia? Poor idea.
Yeah, poor idea.
Wow.
When they come, they're smoking cigarettes to cover up the smell. Ah, it's a cigarette.
that shit don't work.
The
That's a decent
dude turns
idea.
around, hits him with the AK. Boom! Fucking niggers are too loud in this motherfucker.
The Russian cop
The
said that or
Russian
what?
Cop turns the butt of the gun around, smacks the security guard right in the chest. Boom! Yeah.
See, that's why I don't
some
fuck
race
around when I
shit.
go to
Yeah,
Russia.
don't go to Russia.
Russia, Japan, China,
What?
I don't fuck around. Everywhere else, whatever.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
there's a few countries you just really don't
Dubai.
want
I
to
don't
play.
want to go to
Dubai and all
Dubai.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't play in Dubai.
They
Yeah.
wash this shit up in Dubai.
He
They
just got back from
What?
Dubai last
What?
night. He's fucking having.
Wow.
nigga.
Yeah, but
I just want people to be ideologically consistent. And so when I see certain streamers and commentators on the culture, and when they are so down to give Lefty Gunplay a pass for these comments. Now, myself personally, I don't really have an issue with the comments because I actually think that if people want to stick amongst their own people, there's actually nothing wrong with that. Now, when you start like kind of forcing that upon your kid, that I think starts to become a little bit of a gray area. I would hate the idea of like of Lefty really raising his kid to think that it would be unacceptable for the kid to ever have feelings.
It's passed down, bro.
Well, beyond that,
like,
the issue is that this is a guy that's in hip hop culture that has a Johnny Dang grill that's, you feel me, making a living off of black people.
thank you. I was just about to say she's gonna grow up and date a rapper.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
now, granted, not like that. She's gonna like what her father is. Like
Yeah.
I'm seeing it now with my daughter.
So
it's like
it's different if it was a dude that, like worked at, AutoZone or whatever, like as opposed to there's a huge.
But would you guys agree with me that if you're okay with Lefty Gunplay saying it, then you should also be okay with a white guy saying it?
No, because it's
Nope.
completely different.
I'm cool with that.
but
Why
it's
not?
but
It's
it's
not.
but it's
You're
completely
right.
different.
Why are you
because
against it?
it's not all white. It's just different.
It's
I don't
yeah,
know.
the accent that's attached
just
to
different.
it, especially when understanding the politics. Someone like you, Adam, that is in tune enough with the politics of LA street life.
like-
That's an understandable and regular occurrence, as opposed to somebody who has had a narrative that was so fueled by hate and marginalizing minorities, and had a agenda that was described as, what was it, Catholic nationalism? I believe was the term that Fuentes was using for a while, which is overtly saying that we're not against other races, we just don't want other races around, to the point where Richard Spencer then came on your podcast and went
kind of
back.
disavowed that,
He
yeah.
disavowed everything he had previously said. There's a difference to that and somebody that grew up as a minority in a marginalized community, came up with a certain ideology that was formed by their environment.
That's all they know. Like,
So dumb guy allowed to have that opinion, smart guy not allowed to have that opinion?
It's education.
That's not- you
It's
sound
education.
crazy.
I see what you're
crazy.
saying.
I just feel like that's like the simplified version of what you're saying, is that like if you come from the gang shit, if you come from the streets, then it's cool for you to be, discriminating against other people like that. But if you come from a background where you've
niggas.
been really educated, then it's like you're
should
not
know.
really.
But if
allowed
you
to have
watch
it.
what Lefty said afterwards, essentially what he was saying is, the fact that I think this is wrong, I want this to change. I'm all for pushing.
Like, it
black
didn't bother me
empowerment.
at all. When he said it, I 100% understood what he meant. I get you what you mean, as
White
it sounded
people
like a little
supposed to be
weird,
able to
but
say it too, gang.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
that's all
I
I'm
get
saying
you-
is
I get you
because
too, though.
listen, they not about to let you inherit some shit. Listen, if it was in their wheels a long time ago, they were slave owners and all that shit. And I know I sound ignorant. Hey, I'm not letting these people into my bloodline, the inheritance, nothing.
Like,
you don't get
yeah.
nothing. I don't like y'all. Like, period.
just-
like, what the fuck?
Because you know who would 100% agree with Lefty
And
Gunplay
vice versa.
are all the educated ass black women on Twitter who talk about black men getting into
Yeah,
relationship
facts.
with
Well,
non-black
racist.
women
Bro,
as
you
if they've
know.
committed a crime against humanity. They clearly would probably see this Lefty Gunplay thing, and if they had to be ideologically consistent, they would have to agree with it. Even though I don't
sure.
think they would agree with that. I think they would actually
facts.
say, "Look at this racist ass Mexican."
Well, what they would probably say is, this
It
is
goes
why
every
we need to
way.
preserve our culture. This is why we need to,
Yeah.
like it would kind of further justify them believing.
And I definitely appreciate Lefty
Yeah, nah.
being honest about it, because almost anyone else in his situation would come up with some sort of convoluted bullshit
yeah,
answer.
and that's all I want
He
to
was
say.
straight up about it,
He's
which I
just being
appreciate, yeah.
straightforward about it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how everybody get down, bro. Like, he's
Yeah,
like, I'm
like-
sure you be in public,
yeah.
you be with a white bitch, and you see how black chicks be like looking. They don't like that shit, bro. at
I'm
all.
from the
That
don't
shit- it's
give a
like-
fuck, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, like, I am strapping up more with the white girls than I am with the blacks.
But
Facts.
Condom wise?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh,
You want to
never
make sure
mind.
you don't have a baby with a white girl? Why?
When they get to fiending for the baby, like it's like
The
nah,
white bitches be weird.
it's not like that.
He's
It's,
trying to have
They all want a
babies.
mixed baby so they can
Yeah,
post her
baby.
on TikTok.
Yeah,
They
Quote,
want
unquote.
mixed babies, bro.
Breeding
Oh, she
fetish.
looks like
It's
Pharrell.
crazy.
I'm black. I'm black. Yeah, they be white mixed babies.
They be
for
white
sure.
babies.
Yeah, like a lot of white girls I know
God.
that have mixed kids will always post memes that allude to like
bitch,
come on,
what?
bitch, we know what time it is. All right,
You're
you fucked a
weird.
black dude. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I know a white girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but I know a white girl that gets mad
Stacy.
at fucking other white girls. Like, this is why when I go to Dante's mom's house, and where I did it, they don't fucking like me because it's bitches like you that fucking
Yeah.
make it to where interracial dating
It's
is almost
weird.
impossible.
They're trying to
Like,
justify
you know what I'm
that
saying?
shit
Like,
to the fullest. Like
you know.
they're offended. Like, what you mean I can't fucking nigga? Like,
Yeah,
you feel me?
like we love football
yeah,
players.
Like what?
I get